When my child was diagnosed, one line in the report, it seemed so simple. Autism level 1. Okay, level 1. What does that mean exactly? But the more I learned, the more I realized that's not what autism levels mean at all. In fact, here's something that surprises a lot of parents. Kids diagnosed with autism level 1 can sometimes struggle more so than kids with autism level 2 in certain situations. So what does autism levels 1, 2, and 3 actually mean? Why do so many people misunderstand them? And what will a number never tell you about your child? Let's break it down. Hey, I'm Genevieve, mom raising an amazing child on the spectrum. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel, I break down real-life autism parenting, tools to help parents, and I share honest advice I wish I had sooner. If that sounds like the support you're looking for, I'd love to have you subscribe. Now, let's break down one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to autism. Most people think that autism levels measure how autistic someone is. They don't. It measures how much support a person needs at the time that they're assessed. That's a huge difference. I'll give you an analogy. Think of 3 hikers climbing the same mountain. One hiker needs a walking stick to get to the top. One hiker needs trekking poles and frequent breaks, and one hiker needs a guide and specialized equipment. They're all climbing the same mountain. The difference isn't determination, it's not intelligence, and it's not ability. It's the amount of support they will need to get to the top of the mountain. That's exactly how autism levels are intended to work. They're about the level of support a person needs. They're not measuring ability, worth, or future success. Let's look at each one. Level 1 means requiring support. Someone may speak fluently, attend school independently, or have a job. But social situations, they're completely exhausting, and a change in routine can completely derail the day. Executive function, planning, organization, or switching between tasks can take enormous effort. From the outside, everything looks fine, but from the inside, this person is working really hard just to keep up. Level 2 means requiring substantial support. Here, communication differences are more noticeable. Daily routine often requires more help. Changes in routine can be harder to manage, and support needs from the outside can be easier to recognize. Level 3 means requiring very substantial support. Here, communication may happen in a different way. Daily living often requires ongoing assistance, and sensory challenges may have a profound impact on everyday life. Notice what I haven't mentioned: IQ, kindness, humor, potential, creativity, because autism levels don't measure any of them. And here's where almost everyone gets confused. The number isn't necessarily forever. Autism, it doesn't disappear, but the level of support needs may change. Think about someone who breaks their leg and may need crutches. The crutches, they don't define you. They're the level of support you need in that moment in time. As you heal, you may need less support, but if you re-injure yourself, you may need more support. Autism isn't an injury, of course, but the idea is similar. Support needs can increase or decrease depending on development, environment, stress, burnout, life transitions, or even access to support. That's why many autistic adults say their diagnosis, it hasn't changed, but the amount of support needs have over time. This is why many professionals avoid using the term mild or severe. Let me give you an analogy. I've used it before, but I think it's really relevant here. Imagine 2 icebergs, one with the majority of the mass above the water. The other looks smaller above the water, but may be substantially bigger underneath. From a distance, the smaller looking iceberg may actually be much larger. People are like that too. Some autistic kids described as mild or high functioning, 2 terms that I completely avoid using, might battle things like anxiety, sensory overload, exhaustion, and masking, things that people will never see on an everyday basis. Meanwhile, someone with very high support needs might be able to understand more than anyone ever realizes, but might communicate in a different way. What we see isn't always the full picture. When parents first receive an autism diagnosis for their child, it's natural to focus on level 1, level 2, level 3. But after a while, the better question is not what level is my child, it's what support will help my child thrive. Because that's what the diagnosis is really trying to answer. It's not trying to put your child in a box. It's trying to determine the level of support your child will need to learn, to grow, to communicate, and to participate and be successful in their everyday lives. That's where your energy will make the biggest difference. If you remember only one thing from this video, let it be this. Autism level 1, 2, and 3 do not tell you how intelligent your child is. They don't tell you what your child will accomplish, and they don't tell you who your child will become. What it does tell you is the level of support your child will need in a specific moment in time. That's it. And that is a really important distinction because your child is more than a number on a diagnostic report. If this video has helped make autism a little bit easier to understand, I'd love to have you join the community and hit the subscribe button. And if you're still trying to understand autism, diagnostic reports, or subtle signs of autism, check out these videos. As always, I just want you to know you're not alone in this, and neither is your child. I'll see you next week on the Autism Parent Guide.